This is just a video about the fuel supply system on the Renault M5M engine or the Nissan MR16DDT. This is an engine you find in the Clio 4RS and a Nissan Pulsar SSS. So basically this is the camshaft that we have out of it. You can see we've got 4 lobes on it. So effectively we've got 1 lobe per engine cycle, because remember this camshaft spins at half engine speed and we need 2 engine rotations per engine cycle. This is the fuel pump. We've actually cut the piston out of the pump. This particular piston here is a 9mm piston that lives in this bore. When you do the maths and all of that, you're going to see it's going to deliver about 191 or thereabouts microliters per stroke. So that's all the fuel that you have available per engine cycle to be able to make your horsepower with. Now there are so many claims out there about how we can make all this power and everything else, but effectively this pump with the injectors that are in the engine, they're probably going to limit you to about 300 horsepower at the crank. You literally just can't make any more because you physically can't put any more fuel into the engine. So this cam, obviously 4 lobes, there's a 6mm difference between the minimum and the maximum. So that's basically 3mm of stroke per cycle that you have available to you. You can work the maths out and everything else. It's about where you get to. This is a pump that we haven't cut open, but you can kind of see where it's all at. So how do I put it? There are a lot of claims out there about how much power you can make on a standard engine. You're really limited to this 300 horsepower. You can look at the various calculators you can find online, but what you need to do is at 6,000 RPM, you've got 3,000 RPM on the camshaft. You can work out roughly how much fuel you're going to have delivered based on 190 microliters, which, to be honest, you won't be able to deliver because the way this piston is designed, and you can see by the surface here, it's not a total seal piston. It's designed to have fuel flow around the outside of it. It's basically a Bosch HPD5 fuel pump. You can look all of that up. Even if you're running at 90% efficiency and you're only losing 10%, you're probably down around 180 microliters. All the development work I've done with a Motec system shows that we're at about 180 microliters of fuel. That's the most we can get to be delivered out of the pump. It's just where the whole thing finishes up. So the main reason for this video is just to show you what you've got in your system and why the fuel system is really the limiting factor on this whole engine. You see people out there saying that they can run various ethanol blends. Me personally, I kind of struggle to see how you can run various ethanol blends because it's just limiting a already limited fuel delivery value within this engine. So have a look online, have a hunt around. You'll see all the numbers kind of correlate. Basically the DI fuel pump in this engine, which is a really good fuel pump, I don't think it's rubbish, but it's a really good fuel pump, it's limiting you down to around that 300 horsepower. What you'll find is there are various options online that you can buy which are a HPD6 fuel pump. You'll see that the Hyundai guys have dropped onto this. If you can get yourself a HPD6 fuel pump, it's got a 10mm piston, and when you work out all the maths, it's going to give you an additional 24% of flow. So an additional 24% of flow, it's going to equate to an additional 24% horsepower or thereabouts, depending on the efficiency of your engine. If you want to stay with just the DI injectors, it's probably something worth looking at. If you look at RS Tuning in France. They've got their pumps online, which are a HPD 6 variation. They're designed to fit onto this engine. They can make the whole thing work for you. It's going to get you 10% further down the road. If you want to go further than that, you've probably really got to look at a port injection as well as the DI injection kind of configuration. Once again, thanks for your time. I'll catch up with you later.